Hi everyone. Are you experiencing greater anxiety and frustration, confusion, and an overwhelm with the messages you're being inundated with from the outside and the ones you've internalized from within? You're not alone. This Mercury retrograde that we just entered into this morning really invites us to clean house mentally for our inner peace and the safeguarding of our internal stability. Hi, I'm Bella of Nurture Astrology. I'm a professional Western astrologer specializing in empowering people, in helping them find practical things that they can do to make the most of their life and live their lives as consciously and with the greatest amount of fulfillment as possible to make their lives truly their own. And I'm here to share with you today about the Mercury retrograde that began this morning. So it began January 14th, 2022 at 6:41 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's ending February 3rd at 11:13 p.m. And of course, there's always a bracket between, like before and after an actual Mercury retrograde, in which we first feel introduced to the themes, and then later, after it's over, we apply what we've learned. This is a learning experience. It is not the devil that people make it out to be. Mercury retrograde is a favorite scapegoat for a lot of people, but I don't feel it's deserved at all. It's actually the most productive time in my life. I get more done during Mercury retrograde than any other time because it is the procrastinator's dream. Anything that's been on the back burner, any concern or any literal project that has been sitting around for a while that you've been meaning to get to, this is the time. That's perfect. And it's going to flow better now than ever before. So it's always a question of how you approach any astrological theme, including the Mercury retrograde, and you can really make the most out of it and use it to your best advantage, even when it's difficult, which this one definitely is. It's not an easy Mercury retrograde. As far as Mercury retrogrades go. It's in Aquarius the entire time. It's connecting with Saturn right now. It's challenging Uranus and Taurus. There's a bunch of other things going on with it. But let me share with you about some of those themes and how you can make the most out of them. So the invitation with this Mercury retrograde is for you to free yourself of influences that are taking down your mental health, bringing anxiety into your life, bringing confusion into your life, bringing clutter into your life. And many of them would be things that you're used to. The friend that you tend to hang out with all the time, no matter how they talk to you or what they share with you, because you have these plans, you've always had these plans, or you've had them for a long time, and so you just kind of keep going with it. Habit is an issue. And habit that is not being brought discernment into can be a way that we siphon away our time and our energy into things which are not truly in alignment with our values, are not actually stabilizing us or safeguarding or helping to create the kind of experience both internally and out in the world which we most benefit from. We are really being invited to create more of that stability, to be proactive about our mental health, which of course connects naturally to physical health, emotional health, etc., all the different kinds of health. We need to be willing to ask the hard questions, to have the conversations, but equally importantly, if perhaps not more importantly, we need to know where to detach from those things and not deal with them. Now, this is a little bit of an odd suggestion, but nevertheless one that this Mercury retrograde really invites us into. How to detach from things so that we're not so caught up in them that we get siphoned away from what really matters to us. How to say no, how to turn down the invitations. Less can really be more. How to listen to, where perhaps you're listening to too many voices, too many suggestions, too many ideas. Pare it down, quiet it down, go within, listen to yourself, come back to what's important to you, come back into your body. Uranus and Taurus, which is still going on and will be for a few more years, invites us to come back to the body. The body has so much wisdom, so much grounding potential, the possibility to, within the body, you can come back to a stability which mental chatter will take you out of. Listening to other people and being a lot in our heads can really impact us negatively these days. And if you're circling a lot around, the ideas of things, and you're feeling confused and frazzled, this is a very powerful tool that is active not even just during the Mercury retrograde, but is especially useful during this Mercury retrograde. Take deep breaths and come back to the body. Do whatever practice you do that brings you into the body, whether it's dance, meditation, breathing deeply, walking in nature, really being with your meal when you're eating it, really just feeling into yourself, coming back to the here and now, the present, the five senses. When you do that, you find that much of the anxiety that circles around with the world is screaming loudly, or trying to get you to pay attention to, or other people's ideas, or even just your own spiraling thoughts, can really find a stable base on which to just land, and clarification can happen in itself. You need to create more freedom and more space in your mind, in the way you communicate both what you hear and how you express. And that can look like communicating less, listening to people less, pausing, paring things down, decluttering, like go for your mailbox, email box, get rid of emails that are taking up space, clear up your various electronics. In this case, electronics potentially are a lot more relevant, because this Mercury retrograde being in Aquarius rules all these kind of more modern technological kind of advances, which keep us connected. Now, in some places, it keeps us connected to something that isn't right for us any longer. And so the question becomes, can you make space from that? Detachment is a really important part, and has a really important part to play in creating and safeguarding our stability, our security, our inner peace, our mental health. And that's a really important thing to come back to. You might be called to set more boundaries out in the world, but more often in this case, with what's going on with this Mercury retrograde, the boundaries you need to be setting are within you. When to say no, when to notice that you're perhaps spiraling or chattering or doing something on autopilot, to notice that and to have the discipline and to care enough about your mental, emotional health and your sense of inner peace and stability to say no, to turn it off, to be willing to innovate your life so that it is more congruent with your inner values, with your positive sense of well-being. It's much about taking authority over that and recognizing that you are the main person who is in charge of creating and maintaining that kind of inner peace and stability and internal experience, curating your internal experience, and that connects to what's going on the external as well. So there are a lot of invitations. There's so much I can share about this Mercury retrograde and anything astrological, but there are too many details, and I'm trying to keep this a little bit shorter. So if you've got any questions, if you want to know how this particular Mercury retrograde or anything else astrological impacts you personally, if you want customized, personalized support and advice on how you specifically can make the most out of it, you want practical suggestions, you want a held space, please reach out to me. I am available for personal sessions. Find me at nurtureastrology.com, and please feel free to subscribe, to like this video wherever you found it, to share it, and to tune in for more, because there will be more videos coming. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I wish you a blessed day.